Hello, this is a poem called A Lowly Life. Um, Nothing much to talk about, really. It was inspired by a documentary I listened to about Bob Dylan, and I was particularly interested, really in his poetry, but the way he's flip-flopped from one thing to another and gone from being popular to serious and back to popular and then not caring and things like that. I also mixed in with that as some notions of James Joyce and his life. Um, but generally speaking, I just wanted to underline the fact that all writers, it's not just poetry, I think, have sort of these terrible problems about deciding if what they're writing is of any value to anyone apart from oneself. And we go through this internal struggle. All I would say is that I think writing is extremely cathartic, and it doesn't really matter. Just get it down on paper, and if, like me, it suits you, read it out aloud. And by the way, the words of this will be published on my website, www.dannybars.net. A lowly life. He led a lowly life, he said. This then young man tried to make his name through works diverse and tasks mundane, in peaceful places where he could take the time to consider what was written or read, or how some text might scan or rhyme, and what words were concealed in which writer's head. The establishment thought his efforts worthwhile when he trod their well-worn literary path. They would agree with him and joke and laugh. The methods he used were deemed correct. The subtle symbolism made them smile, aimed at an audience serious and select, who could understand both subject and style. But all his desires to do something new were greeted with requests to toe the line, suggesting that though his art was fine, any search for fame could create ill will, and whatever his entourage might do, those that by his side stood still, though they were faithful, they were far too few. He felt his commitment had been totally abused by the system that established the rules of the game. Criticism, once wise, only sought now to blame, but although he refused to write to please, he had never been by his detractors accused of seeking to live a life of ease. His lack of concern made his critics confused. Then he left to join a rebellious band, for whom the avant-garde was normal, whose approach to young artists was far less formal. What he could create with paper and pen sent a message to youth throughout the land, who would glance to the past every now and then, but would not be bullied by the wise and grand. So settled was he with children and wife that his work became popular and appealing. Readers perceived a more fatherhood feeling. Thus he would finally truly attempt to shuffle off the coil of artistic strife, which he began to treat with a certain contempt as he left behind his lowly life. There is no moral to this tawdry tale, except that hidden within myth and mystery, all logic is lost in young artists' history. If writers wish to create their own space, but needs a society's acceptance in order to prevail, submission to ambition is their saving grace, and a lowly life is the best way to fail. Thank you. Bye-bye.